I used to think attractive women were out of my league. Instead of being excited to talk to them, I'd assume they wanted nothing to do with me. It was a sorry situation. I'd land dates and relationships with some women, but not the ones I truly wanted. In this video, I'm going to share the 7 societal secrets of female psychology that I use to turn things around. The out of my league concept is based on superficial traits such as looks, money, and status. But there are other things that women value a lot more, such as how a man makes her feel. There are a lot of dummies out there that don't realize this, and I used to be one of them. I thought that if I wasn't handsome or rich, attractive women would be out of my league. There are women out there who only value superficial qualities. A lot of them are on reality TV, many go viral on TikTok, so it may seem like superficial women are everywhere we look. However, in the real world, smart women make romantic decisions based on their emotions. I know because I learned how to stimulate women's emotions in a certain way. This skill helped me to date more beautiful women. Now I've made a career out of helping other guys learn this skill so they can date hotties too. It's only the hot guys who find success on dating apps. That's because they're 100% image based. You can't stimulate women's emotions with words on a screen. Most dating apps won't give you the chance unless a woman likes your photos first. It's possible to do so in nightclubs, although many pump the music so loud that it's impossible to talk. However, the easiest way is through day game, approaching women in daytime venues like shopping malls, beaches, or busy streets. With no loud music or drunk friends to distract her, you can build an emotional connection far easier than in the club or on an app. When I first heard this idea, it sounded impossible. You can't just start a conversation with a woman on the street, I thought. It turned out you can. This puts you to the front of the queue for a woman's attention and communicates so many good things about you. There are very few men who can approach women in a fun and playful way that also makes her feel comfortable. So if you're socially savvy enough to be able to do that, that is going to make a real emotional impact. And there's every chance she's going to choose to go on a date with you over the hundreds of strangers in her Tinder DMs. In my teens and early 20s, I was afraid to talk to beautiful women. In my mid-20s, I would speak to them, but I couldn't help but treat them differently. I wanted to impress them. I was desperate to avoid rejection, so I'd act like a kind and respectful guy who was interested in everything they had to say. It's widely believed that beautiful women want to be pedestalized like this, but that's not true. Most of the hottest women are sick of this unearned princess treatment. They're yearning for a guy who can treat her like a normal girl, a dude who's not afraid to act stupid and tease her a little, a man who allows her to let her hair down and be herself. When you can do that, you show that you're not intimidated by her. You believe that you are in her league. And more often than not, that can be enough to separate yourself from the crowd. The old Joe used to pepper women with compliments. Now my flirting looks like I'm making fun of a little sister. The hottest women don't want compliments about their beauty. They hear that they're beautiful all the time. So generic compliments mean nothing to them. When you make them, you get categorized with every other schmuck who just wants to sleep with her. You need to set yourself apart from these mediocre men. An easy way to do that is to give a unique compliment and show some genuine intrigue. Recently, I watched my buddy and Game Global co-founder Kieran Callum tell this hottie she had the posture of a fashion model. Her face lit up. She immediately felt seen. Now he had a reason to talk to her other than lust, and that helped her drop her guard. If you can find a common point of interest with a beautiful woman, that helps her to stop feeling like a sex object, and that's a really good way to get your foot in the door. Compliment a woman on her beauty and she'll know the chase is over. Whenever a guy hits on her so blatantly, she knows she could have him at any point. That's not exciting for a woman. She wants the emotional roller coaster of, is this going to happen? Is this not? Am I good enough for him? Am I not? Whenever a woman has a real crush on a man, she's experienced this inner turmoil. If she doesn't experience this, She assumes her feelings are not that serious. That doesn't mean you need to play these silly mind games and pretend not to like her. Just treat her like a normal woman and refrain from gushing over her beauty. Crack a few jokes at her expense. In my experience, that's often enough to make a woman start chasing your affection. There's a reason why the hottest women aren't on dating apps. It's the same reason they don't agree to blind dates. They just don't need to take that risk. Dating is risky for women. Men are stronger than them. There are a lot of creeps out there. A first date with a stranger could be awkward or even dangerous. Pre-selection is a powerful tool to eliminate this risk. When women notice you surrounded by other women, they assume you're probably a cool guy. At the very least, you're probably not creepy or dangerous. Most mass murderers don't have female friends to hang out with. I used to go to the bar with my equally desperate buddy to pick up chicks. Most of them wouldn't want to talk to either of us. Nowadays, I like to make female friends and invite them to the bar with me. Other women are far less guarded in this scenario, so it's much easier to drag them into the fun. I would urge you to try this yourself. When you do, you'll probably never want to go on a lad's night out ever again. It's no secret that men are afraid of harsh rejections. Some women out there have no problem with absolutely humiliating a man who dares to flirt with them. But in most cases, it's not the 9s and 10s doing that. Unless you're being a real asshole, the hottest women will usually dismiss you courteously. It's not just the most beautiful women tend to be more socially savvy. True hotties tend to view men in higher regard. Most men treat them like goddesses, so they don't harbour as much resentment. It's actually the uglier women who are most likely to get mistreated by men. They're the ones with sticks up their butts. They're the ones most likely to insult you or cause a scene. So if you're afraid of rejection, try approaching the 9s and 10s rather than the women you think are in your league. With these tips in your pocket, it might go better than expected. Anyway, those are your 7 secrets. If you enjoyed this video, you will probably love to join our new free school community. That features a step-by-step guide to game, teaching you everything you need to know from open to building connection to close. There are lots of other great goodies in there as well, including our day game, infield audios, our night game pool stories, and much more. If you want to learn about that, take a look at the link in the description and the pinned comment. Other than that, my name's Joe. Hope you enjoyed the video and I'll speak to you real soon. I used to think attractive women were out of my league. Instead of being excited to talk to them, I'd assume they wanted nothing to do with me. It was a sorry situation.
I'm sorry. I was so you.
Take 2. Oh, this could be harder than I thought.